I'm sorry for saying the word so, and cool like all the time. And those are filler words. And I'm going to try my best not to say those and just stay to the point because I have speech problems, for one. And two, when I'm on the spot, I do filler words because I get anxious and anxiety. So I'm just putting that out there. So I'm sorry if I get into that spot, but I try. And I definitely I'm gonna try to keep my voice to a low level because I notice I get excited and I start talking loud and it's a mic on a phone and it sounds loud. So, sorry about that too. Now, I have with me the Ace of Wands. And for me, the Ace of Wands symbolizes in the Bible Aaron's rod. And when you learn about Aaron's rod, you learn that it miraculously grew buds on the rod overnight. And every time I look at the Ace of Wands, I think of Aaron's rod. Aaron's rod was placed in the Ark of the Covenant with the Ten Commandments or the tablets. And so like the way it got that way though is like I think there was like a argument over the 12 tribes of who should be the priest or something. There was just a argument of who should be the leader. And God had, I think he had Moses take a rod from each of the 12 families or tribes, and they were to write their name on it. And they were was I don't know if they put it in the ark or if they did something to it. And the next day they was to wake up and God was to show a sign of who the person was going to be. And when they woke up, it was Aaron's rod that had miraculously blossomed overnight. So with that sign, he was to be the priest. The Levites were to be the priest over the tabernacle. If I'm not sure, I need to go back and read this story. I'm just doing it out of my memory right now. This is information about Aaron's rod and the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands. Aaron's rod refers to any of the staffs carried by Moses' brother Aaron in the Torah. The Bible tells how, along with Moses' rod, Aaron's rod was endowed with miraculous power during the plagues of Egypt that preceded the Exodus. There are two occasions where the Bible tells of the rod's power. In the culture of the Israelites, the rod was a natural symbol of authority, as the tool used by the shepherd to correct and guide his flock. Moses' rod is, in fact, cited in Exodus 4:2 as carried by him while he tended his sheep, and later Exodus 4:20 becomes his symbol of authority over the Israelites. The rods of both Moses and Aaron were endowed with miraculous power during the plagues of Egypt. Aaron's rod, however, is cited twice as exhibiting miraculous power on its own, when not physically in the grasp of its owner. In Exodus 7, God sends Moses and Aaron to the Pharaoh once more, instructing Aaron that when the Pharaoh demands to see a miracle, he is to cast down his rod, and it will become a serpent. When he does so, the Pharaoh's sorcerers counter by similarly casting down their own rods. which also became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallows them all. The Pharaoh's heart is stubborn, and he chooses to ignore this bit of symbolic warning, and so the plagues of Egypt ensue. Notably, this chapter begins with God telling Moses, "Behold, I have made you as God to the Pharaoh, and your brother Aaron will be your prophet." As God transmits his word through his prophets to his people, so Moses will transmit God's message through Aaron to the Pharaoh. The prophet's task was to speak God's word on God's behalf. He was God's mouth. In Numbers 17, Korah's rebellion against Moses' proclamation of the tribe of Levi as the priesthood has been quashed, and the entire congregation's ensuing rebellion has resulted in a plague, ended only by the intercession of Moses and Aaron. In order to stop the complaints of the Israelites, God commands that each of the 12 tribes provide a rod, and only that of the tribe chosen to become priests will miraculously sprout overnight. Aaron provides his rod to present the tribe of Levi, and it put forth buds, produced blossoms, and bore ripe almonds. As an evidence of the exclusive right to the priesthood of the tribe of Levi, in commemoration of this decision, it was commanded that the rod be put again before the testimony. A book of the Christian Bible seems to assert, Hebrews 9:4, that the rod was kept in the Ark of the Covenant. So, I wanted you to see what I was saying because I probably didn't say it right. And now that I took it to Google or Wikipedia, it probably makes sense to you why I feel the Ace of Wands is Aaron's rod.